So, especially our senior business analyst, who is the NetSuite data miner for us.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, he'll get very excited about this.
Yes, and I'm sure he'll have some kind of in-depth questions, and Brett and I are happy to take those kind of offline or whatnot.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of nuances within the NetSuite product, NetSuite itself. There's a lot of custom information that custom forms that can be used, and our product is very fluid in working with those custom forms and custom data. So, and I've been within this integration for about a year now, and I've really seen it evolve. So evolve mostly toward the needs of a lot of NetSuite users and kind of what they need and how they need the data expressed within NetSuite. So it's pretty solid.
Okay, excellent.
So one of the first things that you guys went to Brett about was you're using the Shopify integration, correct?
We're just using Shopify right now.
You guys are on Shopify, and okay, great. So and this is actually a Shopify demo here within this. So this is my test Shopify store. I don't have any orders, but at least once you can kind of see what this would look like, kind of the dashboard, the amount of orders, the taxes, and kind of the data that Unify Enterprise is able to condense all within one central interface. So let's say you have new orders, and let's say they're set to the open status. You would click on check for new orders, and you would see Unify Enterprise would download those orders, and you would see those orders here within the inbox. As you can see, it displays the particular status, and mostly online orders are generally paid by the time they get into Unify Enterprise because the payment processor has already cleared payment. So I just kind of want to go into one of the orders just to show you what you're able to see. So you're able to see all the products here, the information in terms of the taxes, any discounts applied, shipping, and also the customer information here, and also the history of the particular order and kind of what its history is through as it goes throughout the various stages of fulfillment within Unify Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions so far?
So yeah, just to make sure I'm looking at the correct. So I'm looking at the daily orders that come in. I clicked on there, and you said it says paid. For us in e-com, we can't. Does that mean you clicked on it and you were gathering the funds? Because we don't do that until we ship.
No. Generally, do you have a payment processor locked into your Shopify store?
Yeah, CyberSource.
Okay, perfect. And so by the time you see an order that is in the open status within Shopify, that's generally paid for already and the payment's already cleared and settled?
No. We have to manually go in there and capture the funds after we have shipped it.
Got it. So now we're kind of locking into the nuances of your fulfillment. So you pay for, so the orders are paid for at the time of shipment, correct?
Correct. I'm sure prior to that, the funds are set aside via CyberSource and how the bank works. But legally, we're not supposed to collect until we ship that order, barring that we have inventory and so forth.
Okay, so we can lock into that. I'm going to go to the configuration and kind of show you how I can change this kind of payment status to reflect what your fulfillment kind of chain is for a particular order. So, for example, we can start here. All open orders will be marked as, let's say, capture only. So when they come into Unify Enterprise, they'll be auth only. You can, of course, post those into, send those into NetSuite. Now, since you can't process the payment until the order is actually shipped, so when Unify Enterprise downloads that order, it can download it as, let's say, authorize only and unshipped. So as we capture all the customer information, most importantly the shipping information, that's going to be sent over into NetSuite. And so most of the clients that I've worked with in NetSuite, they're utilizing NetSuite for the shipping. So are you doing the same thing?
No, we're not.
So what is your shipping solution?
Just via Shopify with UPS integration.
Okay.
So, just to go back, we're completely separate from NetSuite at this moment. Shopify, our store, runs alone.
Okay. So Shopify is a bit siloed. How does your fulfillment warehouse get the orders that they need to ship?
They'll get an email, just kind of like here from Shopify. They'll be on that notification list. They will then manually print out that invoice, and then they have to start entering it into NetSuite.
Okay.
Michael, you're just to confirm, Michael Newhouse, you guys were open to doing everything through NetSuite, right? If that would be the simplest way to go.
Absolutely. Whatever expedites the simplest way, yes.
So yeah, so to the Unify team here, I would say that WebGility team, rather, I think that's the ideal here is looking at Shopify as another front end, another e-commerce platform for us, but everything's NetSuite as much as we can.
Okay, cool. So we can cut out that step of your fulfillment warehouse creating the order in NetSuite so they can ship it out. So Unify Enterprise can send that order and post that into NetSuite, and all they would have to do is know, okay, what order number, so they can still get that email and know, okay, that's the order number I need to search for. That's going to be a NetSuite. Let me go ahead and search for that. There it is. Now let me start shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the unique things that Unify Enterprise is able to do, it works directly with the NetSuite shipping manager, and what it will do is it will capture the tracking information that is put within the NetSuite application. And so once that's done, Unify Enterprise can then capture that shipping data, the shipping method, the tracking number, and pull that into Unify Enterprise. And then what it can also do is it can, see, I'm going to show you this here. It can update that order, so it can change the order status to, let's say, closed, and it can also trigger Shopify to send an email to the customer with the tracking information saying, hey, your order is completed. And then you can, of course, process payment within Shopify itself once that's done. So you could then process payment for all closed and shipped orders.
Gotcha.
And then this is something that when we go in depth, when you meet with the onboarding rep, they can really make sure that, they can create this fulfillment channel with our product, with your operations, and really kind of lock in and mimic everything that I'm talking about. They can show you how at every single step what's happening and make modifications and anything you need. So this is very flexible.
Two mics, real quick. I explained to you guys already that you get that whole onboarding package when you become a customer, right? Did I explain that to you yet?
Yeah, the way that we talked about that was the ideal here was for us to make this as seamless as possible. Logging in Unify is a sort of a QA tool and management tool for the middleware for us, and then ideally our team's working out of Shopify and they're working out of NetSuite, and they use Unify when they need to, but once we get things set up, ideally it's running seamlessly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that seamlessness comes from the automation. We can of course automate downloading orders and posting those into NetSuite, and we can automate the retrieving of the tracking ID. So an order that's marked as unshipped will be marked as shipped in here, and you can just post to store. So here's that retrieve tracking ID, and you can do the post to store right here, which sends the tracking ID. So all of this can kind of be your audit dashboard, if you will, to kind of know, okay, what needs to happen within that fulfillment chain.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Hey, Michael, it's Steve. I'm sorry I was late joining the conference, but I'm here now.
Hey, Steve. This is Steve, our Senior Business Analyst. Just joined the call.
Hello?
Steve, we're going through a demo right now of how this middleware is going to work.
And just a quick update, Steve. I don't know at what point that you joined in, but we were just explaining to.
Oh, hold on just a sec.
Yep.
Turn the water off. Okay.
Steve's at home dealing with a water heater issue.
Okay.
I got you.
Wonderful.
Okay, sorry guys. Do you guys?
No, it's all right. I was just I was just saying, Steve, that what we were just explaining to the mics and anybody else that's on the line here was that our Unify Enterprise program will not only automatically sync the orders coming in through your Shopify store and so forth in a NetSuite, but from the fulfillment side, it will enable, let's say Bob over at the warehouse to be able to, pick the carrier that you want to use, print out the packing slips, shipping labels, and so forth right through our program. And then what our program will do is it'll automatically update the status of that order as being shipped, let's say, grab the tracking number associated with it, send the updated order information with the tracking number back in a NetSuite for you guys so you have a copy of it on file. And then also send that updated order info with the tracking back out to your websites so now your customers are automatically updated with the tracking number and so forth.
Okay, I think I heard you describe this as a middleware. Is that how you described it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is, and this is a product I'm taking. You can use it with NetSuite, but you could probably use it, let's say, with Great Plains Dynamics, or I don't know, probably any. Or is this just specific to NetSuite?
It's just specific to NetSuite.
It is. Okay. Okay. And how long have you been? These are just general questions. How long have you been working with NetSuite?
This has been kind of a 1 to 2 year process that we've been working with NetSuite. I personally onboarded and integrated with all of our customers that we have. I've seen Amazon integration, Shopify integrations, Magento integrations, and I work hand in hand with the engineering team to make sure that our integration with NetSuite continues to evolve and get deeper on the feature set as well.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to find out. And what is, like, how is this middleware? How is it written? What language is it written in? How is it written?
That's a great question. It's actually written in a combination of .NET and PHP. And
.NET?
it utilizes .NET and PHP, and it utilizes the SQL Server to kind of house its database and house the amount of cache in terms of information that it needs to hold and then push into NetSuite, and then also receive that information and manifest it within its interface. So,
okay, so it uses a SQL Server database, is what you're saying?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. The reason why I ask is because I know SQL Server. That's kind of, I think that's part of the reason why Michael had me in on the call is, okay, well, that makes things a little easier. At least I can understand things and how they work and how it's, I found it easier to understand a package like this if you could get into the database and see how the I mean, I've never gotten in and actually changed information in the database myself, but I use SQL Server to look at all nooks and crannies of NetSuite and how things are working. And I just find that it helps to use the system a lot better. And, I don't know how you guys feel about us writing our own little scripts to be able to examine things, but I find it tremendously helpful.
Well, I think whatever you need to do to make you feel comfortable with this product, I would say go for it. This is all, this is a huge database. NetSuite is a huge database. database grows with the amount of products and customers that it can see, because it's seeing data in two different places within a single interface. And, if you need to kind of go in there and let's say, I know sometimes SQL likes to really eat the RAM. If you need to go in there and kind of flush out the RAM, go for it. Especially when you have a lot of data that's going back and forth, it can kind of get a little precarious. But if you know how to flush that, and keep the overall maintenance of that, by all means, do what you need to do to feel as comfortable as possible.
Okay. So then I'm going to ask one more question, then I'll let you guys move on. I'm sorry for the interruption. But
no, these are great questions.
NetSuite not being a SQL Server database, aren't there certain complications that you guys run into? Obviously, you're kind of over that, but.
Mm-hmm. And this is kind of what I was mentioning to Michael, when he first joined on, and I'll repeat it, and this is something that I think is really amazing about the Unify Enterprise product. Our Unify Enterprise product is a desktop product that is communicating with this massive, massive SaaS product of NetSuite. So not only do Unify Enterprise have a SQL database, but it communicates with NetSuite utilizing the APIs. And it's able to capture that information, hold it within the database, and manifest it within Unify Enterprise. So, there's a lot of kind of pipes and calls and things that go on between Unify and NetSuite. But yeah, we've kind of got those all ironed out, and also with the help of the permissions level of the particular administrator. I think it really starts of, how Unify Enterprise initially gets that connection. And that comes by connecting as the main top administrator. The reason being is because that administrator can see custom forms, can see custom data that Unify Enterprise needs to be able to connect with to really kind of connect with all the things that you want to do with the NetSuite. So through the connection credentials, through the API, through the SQL Server, the speed of your internet, the speed of NetSuite servers at that time, there's a lot of data and information going back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will let you guys continue then. Thank you for answering my questions.
You're welcome, and thank you for asking those questions. So one of the things, while you guys were talking, I brought up my NetSuite here, and I just wanted to get the correlation and really kind of show you what an order looks like within NetSuite itself, just to kind of lock that into, I know, everybody always wants to know, well, how does it look in the accounting system? So I want to retrieve this for you. So this particular order I posted, a couple days ago here, and here is my order number here. I'm going to go ahead and look this up in NetSuite and just show you what it's able to see. So here's my here's the invoice here, and it's bringing it up. Mine are slow sometimes. And kind of the next area that I want to kind of move on to is kind of the products. I really want to talk about these products, and I want to really kind of understand how you want to do the synchronization. So here is an order. Here is that order that I posted into NetSuite, and this is how it looks within NetSuite, and as you can see all the items here, the shipment information. This is where the tracking information is applied and where Unify Enterprise grabs the tracking information and changes the order to shipped, and then you can post to store, as I was talking about as well. So just wanted to kind of bring you a correlation of how this order looks within the NetSuite interface.
Must be a big order. It's taking a while.
Can you guys see it? Are you able to see it?
Not yet.
Okay, here we go. Sorry. All right. You see it now? Sorry, it was...
Yeah, we could see it now.
Well, go to meeting with pausing my screen. So here is the order here, and as you can see, you've got subtotal, discounts, tax, shipping, and here's the total and the amount due. Of course, this is a unpaid invoice. But you can also do sales orders. Most of the folks I've worked with have been using sales orders or paid invoices, really locking into kind of what they're using. We can also do cash sales, but I rarely get that one.
Yeah, we use sales orders.
Okay, great. Perfect. Cool. So do you have any questions about how this transaction gets into NetSuite, or can I move on to products and go into the product synchronization and the intricacies of that?
No, I'm okay with that.
Cool. All right.
Shipping costs. Hold on one sec, please. I was just looking at that window. Sure. Your
go
NetSuite?
ahead. Sure.
Yeah, because right now we don't have in our NetSuite shipping costs
Okay.
and other things, so that's a fantastic window to look at there. So then if my fulfillment people go back up, we're going into, and then they get ready to ship. At the end of the day, they get all the pick tickets from the warehouse. So all they have to do is go back in here. Can you go up just a little bit and just hit accept payment, and that's it?
That's so the invoice, like, let's say, well, this is not a sales order, so this is a simulation of an unpaid invoice. So what they would need to do, because you mentioned that Shopify, within Shopify, you handle the payments. So I
would love one-stop shop, and like Mike said, they just go into NetSuite, verify the order is all correct, and then hit capture, and we're done.
Okay. Have you connected? How do you normally get payment to, so in that case, you want Unify Enterprise to capture the credit card information, and this kind of comes into the intricacies of the payment processor. Does the payment processor expose the credit card information after the payment has been captured? Likely not. So what is the payment processor that you're using in Shopify?
Just the CyberSource.
CyberSource. Okay, so CyberSource, when an order is put into Shopify and that payment is authorized, are you able to view the credit card information from within the order detail in Shopify?
Yes.
Is it accurate? Okay, you are. Okay. Well, if that's the case, and the payment processor releases that information, then in the process of downloading orders, we can also download the credit card information here. It just really depends on what the payment processor exposes during the capture process.
Correct.
So, yeah. So if it's not exposing all the information that's needed to process the payment, because that's just how some payment processors work, then you'll likely have to go back to processing the payment within Shopify itself. So those are kind of intricacies that are a bit out of our control in respect to processing payment.
Mm-hmm.
In that rate, if you wanted to process payment within NetSuite, you would have to integrate that payment processor within your NetSuite itself. Is that an option? Do you know if that's an option?
I don't know if that's an option myself. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's an option. So, there's multiple options. I just want to make sure, the staff that are going to be doing this, limited technical ability, I just want to make sure that they can easily do it.
Yeah. Exactly. So, we've got a few things in terms of that piece of the fulfillment cycle. There's many routes you could possibly take. Whatever route you take, Unify Enterprise can easily, log into that, whichever you'd like to do. So,
okay.
Everything kind of hints on the payment processor, really.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So Brett told me that you guys have about 300 to 400 products in your Shopify store.
No. There's about 50 SKUs.
Okay, great. That's good. All right. So you got 50 SKUs, which is good. It's a nice, good amount. And you want to be able to, let's say, when there is let's say your NetSuite is your master location for inventory. Am I correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay, great. So that's the area where you receive new inventory. What our product is able to do, it's able to, so what I'm showing you right now is the product module, and this is all information that's stored within its database. So Unify Enterprise is able to see kind of two product or inventory locations at the same time. So it can view all of the products. These are all the products in my NetSuite, and these are all the products in my online store. So you can view kind of quantity, price, but the main thing that you guys are looking for is a synchronization. And so let's say you receive new quantity within NetSuite. So what you would do, so for example, let's say I receive new quantity within NetSuite for this particular product. Unify Enterprise will go, oh, wow, okay, it's out of sync. What should I do? Since NetSuite is your master location, you would say update the online store product at the quantity level. And so whatever you would have in NetSuite would be sent to the online store and update that change. And so with 50 SKUs, we can move rather quickly with the automation of this. I think it can probably happen in every 15 minutes, no later than 30 minutes.
That's great.
Yeah. Cool. And you go ahead.
As far as inventory integration, I mean, it's live, so is that correct? So the minute we make an inventory adjustment, it's reflected within Shopify.
Sure, automatically within 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. There is some syncing time.
Right. So obviously, if you want to do it manually, it's as quick as you can find it manually. You can always refresh and kind of have this main area that you're making changes rather quickly. But if you want to do it automatically, I would say.
I think I need to have Steve muted.
Huh?
I think we have to have Steve to mute.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. There's a mute button on your panel on the right if you're in the GoToMeeting, Steve.
I am very sorry. I'm in the middle of home repair right now.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So that's inventories automatically every 15. Is there a time adjuster that we could use to set on that, or is it just what it is?
Yes, of course. That's a great question. And that time adjuster is actually called the scheduler. I'm going to bring up the scheduler here. It's accessible in multiple places, but I just wanted to quickly show you this here. So this is where you can adjust the time of the downloading of orders, the posting to NetSuite, the retrieving of the tracking information, and also posting to store. And most importantly, your products. So since you have 50 products, 15 minutes that's plenty enough time to catch those fluctuations. You can always update the online store product at the quantity level. So this is kind of what I was referring to. Say you have some other products out there like that, do this automatically, but this information of modifying the frequency is really inaccessible because you have to like create some weird, strange search within NetSuite, and that can get really cumbersome. And I know NetSuite can be really kind of nebulous at times. And so this is really the showing the power of flexibility of our product, and that you can use it and modify things actively and quickly in an interface that is intuitive.
Okay.
So this is looking good so far. Any other questions about the Shopify integration?
Not at the moment. What about inventory, a product goes out of inventory, goes to 0.
Mm-hmm.
During the course of a day of ordering, how quickly will that be reflected on the store? Does it again reflect back to that settings scheduler that you just showed?
Yeah, 15 minutes. Any kind of fluctuation change. You can also, there's a secondary setting within the scheduler that allows you to, if you're making any changes within the NetSuite, like it can check every 3 hours, but it's always going to be checking, and it's always going to be checking for anything that's in sync or out of sync. This is just a good way of just kind of covering your bases here. Every 3 hours, what's the fluctuation? Every 15 minutes, it's going to take a fluctuation and synchronize that fluctuation and update the store product. So you can really create a good chain of automation. Or you can do things manually until you kind of know what kind of rhythms you guys are looking for, and then you can set things automatically. Usually our onboarders are like, hey, let's do things manually so you know what's going on, and you can really kind of be on top of that and feel like you're in the driver's seat. And then you can set up the scheduler and be like, okay, I know exactly what's happening, why it's happening, when it's happening. And so you can feel good about the automation going through because you really kind of know exactly what's going on,
Yeah, for us, we'll have our logistics and fulfillment team are located in South Carolina, so they're the ones who are in NetSuite consistently dealing with inventory. So
Great.
So we would just set it here for like every 15 minutes, and then we would get notifications in case something goes out of inventory.
Exactly, and those notifications pop up down here within your system tray. So whoever's still on the driver's seat will be able to see what's going on. And for Steve, there's extensive logs within the scheduler, so you can kind of go through the logs if you'd like and comb through and see the automation and at what time it occurred. If you want to kind of get into, into the nitty-gritty, part of it. But yeah, so you'll be able to see, if you're in the driver's seat, you'll be able to see everything.
Okay. And how many, as far as logins, do we have? Can anybody in the company log into this? I mean, I know we could do settings, but for example, like Steve somewhere else than I am today, can he remotely log in?
It's a great question. And this kind of locks into, where Unify Enterprise is going to be installed. Generally, this is a desktop software, so if you have this is installed on someone's computer, let's say you're a computer. If you have worked into a remote access on your computer, and Steve can access that and log in and play around with Unify Enterprise as if it were his own computer because of that network setting, or sure, that's generally how it would be accessed by multiple people. But are you looking to have kind of more than one user at a time, or it on on two people's computer, which would require Unify Enterprise to, one computer would act as the database, or if you have a server, you can put the Unify Enterprise database on, and two computers within that network can query that database on the server and kind of be in two people at the same time. One is the admin, one is the add-on user.
I would say we just probably keep it here at corporate. I don't see a need for the fulfillment or logistics people, since they'll be just in NetSuite verifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have to go in and capture these, my fulfillment manager may need access to this.
Sure. So, it would, and where is your fulfillment manager? Are they at
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, you may want to decide, okay, whose computer is this going to be on? Are you going to, like, let's say, buy a laptop or something for it to always sit on? So, Michael, you can take your computer home, and, if you want to work from home, you would know that, okay, the Unify Enterprise computer is there, and if anybody has to pop into it at any time, they can, So, there's many things you can do about that.
Okay.
Yeah, but when we do the initial onboarding session, you know, if we install it, we're likely going to be installing it on your computer, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool, cool. And I think you'd like being in the driver's seat for a little bit of the time, you know. And one of the cool things about our onboarding team is that, you know, they can really, you know, their first install setup session, it's about a 2-hour session, and they really sit down and with you and understand what you're, you know, what you're doing. I of course give them all my notes here, so the person who's onboarding you knows exactly what's going on. They would definitely think that your 50 products is a breath of fresh air, and they're like, okay, good. So generally we work with clients that have like 80,000, 100,000, so 50, ooh, this is good. But they'll, you know, they'll really sit down with you so you understand what's going on. There's also an extensive training session that you can be privy to. Anyone who kind of wants to, you know, Steve can also be in the training, just so wherever you'd like to join the training so they can kind of know what's going on and what is Unify Enterprise role within your fulfillment. So we can be really flexible, and the onboarding sessions are really ongoing. If you feel that, you know, you need a little brush up or something, or someone new on your team joins in and you want to get them into Unify Enterprise and show them how it's done, of course you can, you know, sign up for another training session and have our team train your new person. So
Perfect.
we'll work with you so you don't have to carry that burden.
Mm-hmm. That's not me.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We could.
I'm trying to mute my phone. I should probably just get off the call because I think I'm causing too much noise.
No, it's fine. You should see on the dashboard on the right.
I did. I muted it.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to go talk to GoToMeeting people.
I know.
They're down. They're in our area here.
Well, Michael? Why don't I do this? I'll talk to you when you guys are done. Okay.
Yep. Sounds good.
And yeah, I kind of have what I need already.
Okay. Perfect.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay. Thanks a lot, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
So I have Brett here with me again. Are there any kind
Who's
of
left? Everybody else except Steve? Okay.
Yeah. So are there any other ending questions you have? Are you ready to sign up? We want to, you know, if you want to kind of kick this in gear, as soon as you sign up, I can schedule you for an onboarding session so you can we can continue this process here.
Yeah, we're still reviewing a few options, and internally, I think we would probably need another discussion in here once Steve gets back in, and I have to involve my senior accountant as well. So, no, fantastic. If I can get this afterwards, just to review it again with them, that'd be fantastic, because I'm sure Steve's going to have further in-depth questions.
Okay, great. I'll have Brett get this to you. It'll be a rather large file, so you may have to send it via Dropbox or something like that. But yeah, we'll get it to you. No worries.
Yay. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Mike Wald, any questions?
I'm totally good for right now, Michael. Let me. I'm going to give you a ring once we jump off here. Okay.
Okay. Alrighty.
Hey guys, listen. Anything else you guys need at all? Don't hesitate to let me know, of course. And I guess, Michael, what should I do? Should I maybe check in with you again in a couple of days, or what should I do?
I would say by Friday, check in with me, please.
Okay, perfect.
And, you know, I'd like to say, you know, before we end, you know, I think, you know, the NetSuite product, as complex as it is, and the Unify Enterprise product, as complex as it is, you know, I think, you know, this and kind of what you need is a really, really good integration. We'll try and automate as much as we can and really kind of get everything flowing properly in a good fulfillment chain that you want. And, you know, in terms of, you know, the other customers that I've onboarded, this one looks pretty good. Looks like a good sure shot. And it would be great to get another one of these in our wheelhouse.
In fact, Allegra and I were chatting before the demo, and I was giving her the overview of what you guys needed and so forth, and she was like, "Wow, this is like the perfect setup. Yeah, this is fantastic."
Oh, good.
Yeah, no crazy monkey wrenches or anything you guys are throwing at us. So it's pretty straightforward. I'm very confident you guys are really going to like it, and you guys talk it over with the parties involved on your end. If there's anything else that we can do to help you guys or facilitate the process or anything, don't hesitate to let us know. Otherwise, though, I'll give you a buzz at the end of the week.
Awesome. Thank you guys both. I appreciate it.
You got it. Take it easy, Mike. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.